Hello, this is Tyler Shaw, and welcome back to another Nomad Outfitters build video. Today we have a 2016 Land Cruiser 200 in Blizzard Pearl White. This build belongs to a longtime friend and client that recently retired as an exec from the telecom industry. His previous vehicle was a 2015 Dodge Power Wagon that we helped him build. Before that, he had a Land Cruiser 100. He's had Jeeps, he's had other Land Cruisers. It was only right that his next build would be a Land Cruiser 200. This video is going to be a little bit different from the previous two that we've done, since this was the very first Land Cruiser 200 that we built. The client's been able to put about 50,000 miles on it. He has been able to go to Baja, Mexico, I believe 3 times now. It has done 2 different Utah traverse trips. He is an avid fly fisherman, so there have been several trips out for fly fishing. And him and his wife actually did the first leg of the Pan American Highway last summer up to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. Since it was the very first, and we have been able to put about 50,000 miles on this rig, we're going to be able to go into what we like about the vehicle, if the client would have done anything differently, if we would have done anything differently, and just overall how the vehicle is holding up with this mileage on it. We are very proud of the end product that is produced from this shop, and this starts at the very beginning. Each build starts with a consultation with the client, and our showroom is by appointment only for that reason. We want to be able to give the client every opportunity to go through from A to Z to make sure that we are checking every box possible and making sure that every single component is something we have field tested and we know works to perfection. Most of these builds are daily drivers, and it is a fun process to getting them dialed in perfectly. Our goal with each build is to make it drive better than it did from the factory while maximizing the off-road capability at the same time. These builds are set up to cover long distances, and driving fatigue is something that we do take into consideration and try to minimize it best we can. Although the client has been very happy with the build overall, there's still a couple things that he would have done differently on the build. One is weight savings, and although the front and rear bumper on this rig are built very, very well, and they're great products from these manufacturers, they are very heavy. There are other options on the market where you can save a couple hundred pounds for the front and rear carrier. The other change would be the addition of a auxiliary fuel tank. We do like the auxiliary fuel tanks from Long Range America, and we do adapt the 12.5 and the 24-gallon aux tanks to our builds today. The 25 gallons in the factory tank does tend to run out very quickly as these vehicles are very thirsty. Having the aux tank does extend the range, and it does complement the vehicle very well. Okay, let's dive into the build. For the suspension, this client chose a 2.5-inch King coilover shock in the front with a King shock in the rear. It is a 2.5 as well. Both have external resis, both have the clickers on them for adjustability on the compression. Upper control arms are from SBC. SBC is kind of our go-to for the Toyota builds. We do like the simplicity of them. We do like how easy it is to change out the upper ball joints. For longevity-wise, it's a great upper control arm. Moving on to the front of the vehicle, this client chose an ARB Summit front bumper. This bumper supporting Ball Design LP9 auxiliary lights. It has Ball Design Amber Squadron fog lights. It has a 12,000-pound winch with Factor 55 ultra hook and fair lead as well. Although this is a heavier bumper and we do need to change the suspension up to plan accordingly, it is the only bumper that is crash test certified, and that is why clients put it up there as an option for the front of these vehicles. Up top, this client chose the Eezi-Awn K9 2.2 meter full-length roof rack. This rack is supporting a 270-degree 23/0 awning, a Adventure GS Premium tint from Free Spirit. It also has 5 Baja Design S2 lights, 2 on each side with 1 as a chaser light in the rear. Moving on to the back of the vehicle, this client chose the Slee Offroad dual carrier. This carrier is supporting their ladder with the triple jerry can holder, as well as their spare tire mount that has the recovery board feature. Moving on to the cargo area, an ARB dual drawer system was installed as a storage solution. Originally, there was a fridge slide and fridge in the back. It was an alu cab, slide and tilt setup. The client decided to move everything up to the second row for additional storage. Power was ran to the rear with USB DC power, as well as his Victron dual battery monitoring system. In the second row, the seats were removed and a custom fabbed in-house tie-down setup was installed for his alu boxes, as well as a mount for his National Luna fridge. Going to the front row, you can see we installed escape gear seat covers that are extremely comfortable. In the center, he has a RAM mount with his ham radio set up. Moving on to the dash, we installed his air compressor and rear locker with OEM-style switches. He wanted to keep his lighting separate, so that is all on a Switch Pro 9100 that is mounted up in the sunglass holder. The Switch Pro is controlling his auxiliary lights on his front bumper as well as up on his roof rack. Under the hood, we have his ARB Twin Compressor, his dual battery system. The tie-downs are from Slee Offroad as well. Powering the dual battery setup is a Redarc 1225D power management system. Finishing off the build, we have Slee Sliders as well as an Expel clear wrap covering the sides of the vehicle and hood. Wheels are the Icon Rebound in bronze. Tires originally were the Nitto Ridge Grapplers. The client switched them up to the Falcon Wild Peak AT3s before his Alaska trip. That about does it. 50,000 miles down and plenty more to go. Hit us up if you got any questions, and we'll see you next time.